The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show, well, Pixar, you can suck my perfectly smooth white taint because this is the best animated motion picture I've seen since Monsters, Inc. It's The Wild Robot. I'm Reegs.
And I'm Roz.
And this is the Film Addicts podcast. That's the first time I've said this is the Film Addicts podcast in a little while because we've done some variations on it recently. It felt good. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. I'm Reegs with a perfectly smooth taint. Hope you've got yours on this Saturday morning. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I'm here with Addy. What's going on, bruv?
Hi.
Wow. Can you give it any less energy? That'd be amazing. Hi. I'm not ready to talk about this movie. It broke me emotionally.
It did. Nothing much. Just existing.
Yeah, I think we're all doing our best. I was on Tommy's show last night. We were recording an episode about The Dark Knight Rises. Excited for that one. And we were saying the same thing. It's a little bit hard to have get up and go, but that's okay. We're not going to get political on this episode. We're going to get wild in the bush. That sounds sexy. It's going to be wonderful. I adored this film. It really is my favourite animated movie since Monsters, Inc., which is saying a lot because I fucking love Ratatouille. I really loved Spider-Verse. Sorry, it took me a second. I wanted to say The Spider-Man, and that's not it, Reegs. Yeah, but this it got me. And it also came along at a really, really important time for me, and I'll get to that when we talk about it. But before we do that, have you watched any cool shit?
I have, but before we do that, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing really well. I'm actually doing better having seen The Wild Robot. Because I was having some issues, some troubles, some personal troubles, like just, in myself, But yeah, I'll explain that when we get into the thing. But apart from that, I'm pretty good. I did have boxing this morning with a friend of mine. And not the normal boxing class I do. It was like a box fit boot camp thing. And I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. It's no problems at all if Dave can do it. Like, Dave's fucking 12 years younger than me or whatever. And fuck my hole. I am not as fit as I thought I was. Like, I swim all the time and I do cardio. Like, I use the rowing machine and the Nordic track. I don't run. I don't do sprints and stuff because I had knee surgery a few years ago and it's just not strong. And I do like really heavy weight training and a boxing training. I think, yeah, I'm pretty fit. I'll be 42 next week and I'm doing all right. Nah, not even a fucking sausage, mate. I was just sweating balls and absolutely out of breath in the first round. I'm like, fuck, there's a whole nother 50 minutes of this. But I made it through and I did enjoy myself. But I am a little bit puffed and out of it from that. Anyway, what were we doing?
We're going into what are we watching?
Whose show is this? What's going on? Who am I? Why am I here? Yes, what are we watching? You watched some cool shit?
Yes, I did.
Awesome. I watched some cool shit. Let's talk about the cool shit we watched. What are we
watching?
What are we watching? I went first last time, so you fucking go.
Oh.
You delicious little bit of biscuit. Just before you go on, if you were a biscuit, what kind of biscuit would you be?
I hate that I know exactly what my answer is.
You hate that you know it's a Kit Kat, isn't it? Would you call that a biscuit?
No.
No? Why not? It's wafer. It's chocolate.
Yeah, but it's...
Is it because of the shape? You shapist?
Okay.
That sounds fucked up. No, what was your answer?
The shapists are the kind of people that go around shaming dildos.
Just people walking into sex shops going, I hate all of this. I hate all of these. I don't want any one of these in my bum. It's a person. It's a man, that one. None of these. And then leave. That'd be like me, a vegan, going into a butcher shop and going, Fuck all you. Steaks are shit. It makes no sense. So what's your biscuit?
Probably an Oreo.
Yeah. Accidentally vegan. It's one of those accidentally vegan things, like Skittles and barbecue shapes. Barbecue shapes are a very Australian thing. Arnott's. Right, that's a good one, though. That's a really good one. Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about? I'm a Monte Carlo, by the way. What have you been watching?
Wait, what's your biscuit?
I'm a Monte Carlo.
Explain that to me.
It's like a nice sort of like crumbly bicky, and inside is cream. I'm thinking about it now. I haven't had one in a long time. And because I'm vegan, they don't make them vegan, I think. White creamy stuff, but the white creamy stuff is encased in jam. Monte Carlo. And it's fancy sounding as well.
That sounds good. I have to tell you, since we're on the subject, I tried a lemon cheesecake for the first time.
Oh my God, did you do backflips?
If I could, I would have. Holy shit.
Pretty delicious.
Those things are amazing. And addictive.
Yeah. There was a cafe, I don't even think it's open anymore, here that Emily used to go to. She was so, like, entranced by this baked New York style cheesecake. It became a problem. I didn't get any of it, and it's much like when there's Toblerone in the house, or when there used to be Toblerone in the house. She would get none. It was outrageous. It wasn't lemon; it was just a baked one. But she does enjoy the lemon as well. Yeah, the cheesecake is terribly Moorish. Yeah.
Yeah, especially that was my first cheesecake I've had in my entire life.
What an event! I love it.
Yeah, that was a lot, and I have to stop myself from like ordering cheesecake now.
Yeah, it's going to be on your mind a lot, I promise. I suppose if you were a cheesecake, you'd be a lemon one.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you should be.
What would you be as a cheesecake?
Anyway,
this is something
what would
we're
I be as
doing.
a cheesecake? I'd be one of those ones. That you get, and you take it home when no one's looking, and you fuck it. That's my cheesecake.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps not one you would assault.
Yes, let's not be assaulting fucking food.
It's not fuck pastries. Yeah, a pastry can't consent, so that's not fair. For fuck's sake, we're not even talking about The Wild Robot, which is a kids' movie, really. Probably one of the ones like one would be berries. I think I'd be berries on top, nice little bit of cheesecake, crumbly crust. Forget about it, like a compote.
I'm gonna try and not make a joke, but that sounds good.
It's delicious. So, what have you been watching? It's not what cheesecake would you fuck this segment. It's what were you watching?
Oh fuck me! What cheesecake would you fuck?
It's a good metric to ask people like what they think they would be. Soup's a good one as well, and cheese. You ask people what kind of cheese would you be, and they really fucking think about it because you think about the I can't believe we're still talking about this, but you think about the traits that you have or what spread you are, like peanut butter jam, whatever, Vegemite or Marmite or whatever. And people really think about it, and they think about the qualities that cheese has or whatever, and you equate it to yourself. Yeah, like what kind of bread would you be? Emily told me I'd be a little dinner roll.
I see that.
I think that's quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm cute and always appreciated, and there's plenty of me. There's always plenty of me. You know what I mean? It's yeah, and she's like a real classy, like a pain de casa or an olive loaf, like something you go to an artisan bakery to get because she's bougie. Yeah. Anyway. That's what's happening. Do you want to tell me what you've fucking been watching, or we'll get on with the show? Let's just do this for the whole show, actually. What kind of fruit would you be?
Yeah. Well, okay, you go first, because I have to think.
I would be anything you could take home when no one else is looking and fuck. So most melons. Well, most melons is good.
Well... If it's you who's fucking, there's a papaya. That's it.
Is that okay? Because it most resembles a vag.
Sure.
I mean, if your vag looks like a papaya, go to the doctor.
Or
the
not.
wrong colour. Like, fucking hell. Oh, all right. What have you been watching? I promise I'm going to stop with the food things. Maybe a little bit later. Chips is another good one. Chips? What chip would you be?
Oh, I know.
People go, oh, salt and vinegar. No, you like salt and vinegar. It doesn't mean you are salt and vinegar.
Well, fuck you, because I was going to say salt and vinegar, and now I have to think.
See? Anyway.
Oh, I know. Sweet corn chips.
It's corn chips. Corn chips are good, yeah, corn chips.
They go well with corn soup, which is my soup.
Corn chips and corn soup. Well, hey, look, you're crossing boundaries here. I love it. You're bringing both of these stupid personal metaphors together. And we haven't even... 11 minutes.
Yes.
11 minutes we were recording for, and fuck me, we haven't mentioned anything important. But hey, everyone out there, what kind of fruit or chip or soup or bread or fucking biscuit or cheesecake are you? Let us know in the comments.
And if you're feeling naughty because it's Christmas...
Fuck a gingerbread man. Or woman.
No!
Or a gingerbread...
Don't fuck food.
Whatever.
Don't fuck
like,
food.
It doesn't
Just don't fuck food.
It's a gingerbread person. A gingerbread human. Don't fuck food. That should be... If we ever get t-shirts made for the podcast, that should be on the back of them. The Film Addicts podcast, don't fuck food.
I was going to say, if you're feeling naughty because it's Christmas, what kind of dildo would you be? But not fucking ginger person. People...
Well, that's you can use one of those. If it's a Christmas dildo, it's got to be like one that looks like a candy cane, surely, or Santa's head.
It's not Christmas dildo. It's just the time of Christmas is arriving. So if you're feeling naughty, what dildo would you be?
Right. Well, I mean, I think people would assume that you'd be. What are we talking about?
You started this, man.
I think people would assume if you said it's nearly Christmas time, what kind of dildo you would be. They would be thinking Christmas-themed dildos. You know, it's like candy cane, Rudolph's big red nose, not one with holly, obviously, because that would be painful under all circumstances. You know, what else is long and phallic at Christmas time?
Can I pitch one? In the vein of...
Get a butt plug like a tree. What's that?
Plug like a tree.
Yeah, like a Christmas tree. It comes to a point and a butt plug.
Okay. Yeah.
Pitch yours.
It's a elongated gingerbread man or a ginger person, and every limb is a dildo.
It doesn't go to the hands. It just comes to a nice round bit, a bit bulgy, and you can get fisted.
Yep.
And
then
excellent.
And then there's a button on the face that you turn on, and then it starts vibrating.
Amazing. Everybody out who are dildo makers worldwide, copyright Addy and Reegs, that one. So,
yes.
Should we do the beginning of the segment again?
Please.
Because I feel like... No, we won't get to that. What have you been watching, my friend?
I watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 yesterday for the second time. Fuck me, that movie is good.
It is, yeah. I don't think it's as good as Fallout, but it is good.
I mean, can anything be as good as Fallout? No.
Fallout is peak for that series. It's my favourite.
I would say Fallout is peak just by like the sheer number of people that went and watched it. But I'd say like thematically, peak is Rogue Nation.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, sure.
Especially after the fucking that teaser that they put out for the next one.
For Final Reckoning, yeah.
Oh, I watched that and like I was like, fuck me. That's movies, man.
They're talking about like it actually might be the last, even though Tom Cruise is like, I can still do it, but he's 60-something.
Yeah, I believe it is the last one because like a few days before it, there was like a headline that Tom Cruise wants to do more, but Paramount doesn't want to do more, and so I think it's Paramount paying him a certain amount so that he agrees that it's the last one. That's why instead of Dead Reckoning Part 2, it's the last reckoning. Yeah,
or Final Reckoning, yeah. You're probably right. They probably want to go with someone older and who doesn't cost them so much money in insurance. They were talking about Glenn Powell, but you'd have to keep Tom on as producer to oversee, I reckon.
There's no Mission Impossible without Tom Cruise or Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie did.
Yeah, they've definitely made it their own. And also Tom's... producing partner, Deborah Wagner, I think it is, they've been producing together for a long time. She's critical to the whole piece as well. So, but you dig the movie?
Oh, hell yeah. I watched it in theaters last year, and then I haven't watched it since. And I do feel like it was a little slow, but fuck me. Like that entire like train
it's just
sequence.
long.
Also, like
yeah,
like Mission Impossible movies being long is like the best part because it is literally the most consistent franchise we have.
It's this globe-trotting shit as well. So if it's short, it's going to feel like really condensed. You want to stretch that shit out. I feel like Dead Reckoning suffers, and I think I know why, because Macquarie was interviewed on the Script Apart podcast, I think it was, and he talked about how they didn't even know who the protagonist was when they started shooting. They finished Fallout. He was prepping another movie, and they were like, we want this by such and such a date, pre-COVID happening. And he was like, if that's the case, I need to be scouting locations tomorrow to get it done. And yeah, during it, Nicholas Hoult was cast at one point to play sort of this shadowy kind of masked phantom. It's going to be called the Phantom character. And then they just ended up going with, you know, the AI thing or the artificial intelligence thing. So yeah, I feel like it's might have been a little bit rushed, but it's still a really good flick.
It doesn't suffer so much that you're like, well, it could have been a better movie. It's in some parts you might feel that, but by the end of it, you're like, oh fuck, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. They all feel like that, you know, even if they don't end on a cliffhanger the way that one did. Yep. Absolutely. What else did you watch?
I watched the first act of season 2 of Arcane.
All of the episodes that are currently available, you have watched.
Yes. So currently, as we speak, is the 16th, which is when the second act drops. That's episode 4, 5, and 6.
Why did they do it in 2 pieces like that, do you reckon?
Well, it's not 2 pieces. It's going to be three acts. Like the first one did that too.
Oh, okay. But it's not, you're just thinking like if they do it all at once, they're going to cannibalize the interest?
Especially like season 1, the first 3 episodes, they need that break for people to catch up and watch. Because if those first 3 episodes don't work, we don't get a season 2. Like the story does not continue. Yeah,
very true. I've got to go back to the beginning, actually. It might be one of my traveling shows, I think, depending on what the situation is. But because I haven't gone back in a long time. But is it excellent?
It is. It is excellent. It picks up, I'm not going to say when, but holy shit. Like these characters become very, very real in the 3 episodes that we get them for. They have been just like the creators of the show have been just so fucking awesome. You know, like the way that they have panned out these characters and like their start points and, you know, eventually what they become. And I'm very, very excited.
Awesome. I can't wait to get back into it.
I did watch The One Robot again. I did not log it because I watched it at 3 a.m. last night.
Yeah, right. Well, we're going to talk about that, so we'll come back to it. I've only got 2 things to talk about, and very briefly. One was Gladiator 2, and it's fucking punk rock. It rules. I really, really dug it. All the performances are great. Fucking Denzel, man, strutting. He's just strutting all over that movie, absolutely stealing every scene he's in. It's fantastic. Yeah, I love him so much. Paul Mescal is great. He doesn't have the superstar kind of quality that Russell Crowe has, or was going to have after that film. Because you got to remember, Russell Crowe was fairly unknown at that point. He was an Australian who he worked in Australia. I can't remember if he's a Kiwi or not, maybe. And he had done a few bits and pieces, and he was in Virtuosity and with Denzel again. And yeah, not a huge amount of stuff. And that was his big break and got him his Oscar and everything. But he had movie star, like superstar quality. I still feel like that Paul is going to find his speed. He's much more of an indie guy. It was interesting to see him in such a huge piece, and it's the kind of blockbuster he would sign on to. Like, he's never going to play Dick the way that we want.
Yeah, because
he wouldn't want to be locked down for a 10-picture deal, you know. So I think, yeah, that's it. He was really great. Pedro Pascal, absolutely excellent. Interesting to see him on screen with the dude who's going to play Johnny Storm as well, who plays one of the emperors. The little ginger emperor who looks like fucking... Who's the Irish... No, is he Irish? Who's the musician guy? The little ginger dude? Ed Sheeran.
Oh.
Looks like him. Evil Ed Sheeran. And I tell you this much, everybody. They did not explain the practicality of filling the Colosseum with water and sharks. And I'm very disappointed. But as soon as one soldier fell off one of those boats and got ate by a fucking mako shark or whatever it was, I leaned over to Alex, who I was there with, and said, yeah, I'm in. And I was on board. So just give it up. Suspension of disbelief. If it's not true, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I really dug that. And I'll be doing an episode of that. I'll be doing a longer form chat on the Podcast Assemble podcast about that next week with Tommy and DL as well. So if you want to hear that, that's going to probably be out by now. And the other thing I started watching yesterday was Cross, the Amazon Prime series based on the, I want to say Robert Pattinson, but that's not his name. Who's the writer who created the Alex Cross character? Do you know? No. You know, the Kiss the Girls. It was played by Morgan Freeman and Tyler Perry. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the writer. Someone Patterson. Let's just say Patterson created this character who's an African American detective, mentalist, and person who can profile and all that. From only having seen the Morgan Freeman pictures, it leans much more into he's just a detective. But in this, he's actually in Washington, or it might be Baltimore, actually. Anyway, and it's all about this one particular murder of an African-American man who was a activist and was after, defunding the police and all that kind of stuff, the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's much more about the culture of the people who live in that city. And it feels a lot more grounded. It feels more like The Wire or We Own the City, and I really dig it. And the guy who's playing Alex Cross, because it's playing a younger version of him, it starts really well too, is Aldous Hodge, the guy who played Hawkman, who I didn't rate much because of that performance, and he's excellent in it. He's really, really good.
Are you...
No, the dude, like this, he's 7'8" tall or whatever, just this huge, hulking, beautiful man. And yeah, really great actor. And I've only watched the first episode, but fuck, I was on board straight away.
Also, the author for James Cross is... the author for Alex Cross is James Patterson.
James Patterson. James. It's not Robert. Robert's Batman. Anyway, that's what we've been watching. Do you like to do What's up?
I do have one more thing that I want to say. I took my brother to watch a movie called The Red One. Well, it's called Red One. It's the new... It's
not called The Red One?
It's not for some reason.
Okay.
It should be called The Red One.
Oh no, it should be. It's Red One because that's his that's Santa's designation. Like how there's Air Force One.
Have you seen the film?
No, I'm gauging it from seeing the trailer.
J.K. Simmons plays Santa in it, which is a bold choice, but he's there for like fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
You know what's the bummer? The Rock's head. I'm sorry, he just can't act in this one. I'm sorry, he just wasn't there.
Andrew Dupin from the We Hate Movies podcast made a really good point when talking about Black Adam, is that he works better. He's a performer. He's a wrestler. He goes on stage. What he needs is a team around him, a crew around him. That's why those Jumanji movies work best, because he needs people to be watching him do it. And if he's standing on a green screen fighting, and I nearly said Osama bin Laden then.
Whoa!
He's not fighting Osama bin Laden in that movie, I don't think. What he's fighting are abominable snowmen and stuff like that. It's from the trailer. Fucking Osama bin Laden. How did I get abominable snowman and Osama bin Laden mixed up? That's ridiculous. You shouldn't say that name too many times or you'll conjure him up. It's like saying Candyman in the mirror. All of a sudden, there he is with his dialysis machine. You just hear doot, doot, doot behind you like, fuck, it's Osama. I called upon him. Oh no, it's the Wishmaster. Hang on a minute.
Let's rewind.
No shade to anyone on dialysis either, but he just was, which is ridiculous. What are we talking about? Red One.
Yes.
Anyway, he's fighting Abominable Snowman, all that kind of thing. Yeah, he just needs a bigger stage, is all I'm saying. What did you think of the film?
It's not good. It has a good premise, but it's not good. It has some really, like... Okay, there's a sequence in it. Are you gonna go to theaters and watch it?
I don't have time, so I leave in 2 weeks.
There's a section of the film where they go and meet Santa's brother in hell, and he's a literal demon.
Wicked.
Brother, the things that makeup did to me, it's all practical makeup. It's more than one person there. Like he's having a party when they show up. And he is like 8 foot tall with like fucking branches coming out of his head. What I'm trying to say is that there's a fantasy element to it that I wish they explored more, because that's the heart of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Chris Evans is there and he's trying his best, but he can't save it.
Chris needs to make some better choices, I think. After that and Ghosted, heavens to Megatron. But yeah, anyway, if you dig Red One, awesome. I hope it's your favourite Christmas movie. Shall we do some the nerd?
Let's do some nerd
news. Today on Nerd News, Denzel. It's Denzel.
Black Panther 3.
He's in Black Panther 3. I played Othello at 22. Now I'm going to play it at 70. After that, I'm playing Hannibal. I'm assuming they mean the conqueror, not the person who eats people. After that, I've been talking to Steve McQueen about a film. And after that, Ryan Coogler is writing a part for me in the next Black Panther. Awesome. I hope he is the villain, because he rules when he's a villain, and I love it. Make it happen.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing a villain. I think we're getting a new Black Panther after all the multiverse shit.
That'd be cool. That would be cool if he came into it as an older Black Panther.
He's either going to be an older Black Panther, or it's going to be T'Chaka and T'Challa being Black Panthers at the same time, with him and John David Washington being Black Panthers.
That would be pretty cool. I still feel like John David Washington needs to prove himself as an actor a bit more. Tenet was a real flat performance. The only thing I've actually really liked him in was Black Klansman.
Same. I have the exact same opinion.
That's Spike too. That's Spike directing the shit out of him. Oh, I must tell you, I listened to the director's commentary for Inside Man, the Spike Lee film. And there's this, I guess you'd call it a podcast, I don't know. Yes, it's a podcast on Spotify that's just a person who uploads director's commentaries to Spotify. It's wicked. You don't even need to watch the movie, you just listen, because I'd watched Inside Man recently. And I'm just listening. Spike Lee is the most entertaining director to ever do a fucking commentary. He's just talking about New York. And he's like, yeah, Denzel liked that hat. He's just awesome, man. He's just got this swagger about him, and he's telling a story. He's talking about Christopher Plummer, who's in that movie. And he goes, if you ever meet Christopher Plummer, do not ask him about Sound of Music. Trust me, do not ask it. And it's just, I don't know, he's just got this energy and this, jovialness and this vivaciousness that I fucking love on a commentary. And he's just laughing at all the jokes. And it's, yeah, anyway. Spike Lee, Inside Man commentary, check it out. I don't know what I was talking about before that. So fuck.
It was, oh, fuck. This is not a good place to be at. The new Black Panther movie.
Yes. Denzel.
Yes.
Fantastic. Here's one for you, because I know just how much you're into this, and you must be just, your coes must be turled. They must be turled. You must be curling with anticipation. A Joker series starring Barry Keoghan is rumoured to be in development. Yeah, I think we've had enough of the Joker. The Penguin show was fantastic, and it stuck the landing like you wouldn't believe, but I think we don't need that.
I still have to watch it, and I will watch it, I promise.
It'll get spoiled for you, trust me.
Oh, trust me, already has. Somebody spoiled one of the most important scenes in Arcane Season 2 for me. And it hadn't been like 5 hours since like Act 1 dropped.
It's like we said, man, it's not enough. You've got to be first now. You can't be right. You've got to be first, which is fucking ridiculous. Speaking of being right and first, both of these things is great. Zendaya and Anne Hathaway's, I know it's not Anne Hathaway's, just what I like calling her, join Christopher Nolan's next film, which is fantastic. Because Matt Damon and Tom Holland are already in it. That's a great cast. It's a great cast. I love it when Tom and Zendaya are together. They've got great chemistry. What's that?
Yes, I'm sorry, I got too excited.
No, it's all right. What did you say?
Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Roz in this one, also got cast in that.
Awesome. Yeah, it's gonna stacking up to be a good one. I don't care what it is. We're talking to Tommy last night. We're just excited about new Nolan. And finally, on the Zendaya wagon, Euphoria season 3 to officially begin production this January, which is really interesting considering some stuff about that show. I love the first 2 seasons of that. I've since heard a lot of stuff about the creator of it, and it's not great. The way that he treats people. Also, I don't know who of you out there watched that other thing that he did with Johnny Depp's daughter, and who's the cat in it? Who's the dude in it?
The Weeknd.
The Weeknd. Have you seen The Weeknd? That's a weird sentence to imagine trying to say that to an old person. What? What do you mean have I seen it? It's happening. It is Saturday, isn't it? Wait, hang on. It's Saturday. I haven't seen The Weeknd. Do you mean do I look back on it? Do I look back on The Weeknd and see it? Like if it's a Monday, do I go, I was Saturday over here and then I had pork and then had a nap and all that. Is that what you mean? Sorry.
No, I fucking love it. It had the same energy of the scene in The Hobbit where he wishes Gandalf good morning and he says, when you wish me good morning, do you intend for me to have a good morning, or is it just a good morning to be? Or is it a good morning to be good on?
It's all right, Gandalf. I was just trying to be pleasant. Yep. Maybe just take it down a notch, mate. But yeah, if anybody's seen that show, I forget what it's called. The Idol? The Icon?
The Idol.
Holy shit. That show was like, I couldn't look away. It was like a car wreck. Yep. It was so narratively bankrupt and horrible, but every week I was watching it, and I don't know why. I can't even tell you. Yeah. Like Johnny Depp's daughter, I know she's got a career herself. They call her Johnny Depp's daughter. Lily Rose Depp had come photoshopped onto her face for a still for that movie.
Oh, what the fuck?
And then one of the people in her entourage suggested that be the cover of her album. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I don't know. Anyway, Euphoria, I really like. I love Zendaya in that. I think it's a really fantastic show. I hope everybody comes back. They've all gone on to do pretty great things now, so I guess we'll see.
I do hope they come back. And as much, like, I know that he's not attached to it anymore after everything came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think that'll be interesting to see where that show goes after that. Because, like, the show has a lot. It's heavy from the go. Yeah. Season 2, episode 5 is a lot in itself as well. But like the performance of literally everybody in that show is like you believe that these are real people.
I don't know how accurate it is to the lifestyles of teenagers in America, but just because I'm not one and I'm not there, so I can't possibly know. But they all give it everything, and it's it's powerful. It's also one of the most beautifully shot shows.
It's the only show shot on film.
Yeah, I think it's Super 35 or something. Just incredible. You don't get textures and darkness like that, and outside of using cinema lenses and cinema cameras.
The Angus Cloud has left in that cast is gonna be hard to fill, but I'm excited to see Hunter Schafer again. Don't blame me.
Yeah, and see how this should round out, because 2 points make a line, not a pattern, and I feel like we need that extra one to round it all out. Speaking of rounding things out, Roz is round, and she's the robot in The Wild Robot, which we're going to talk about here now. Wonderful picture. Just Absolutely excellent. Based on a children's book, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Such a great concept. Really, a really interesting way to do two types of animated movie. You've got the WALL-E style future set stuff, or Incredibles, the action adventure, whatever. And then you've got one with talking animals. And this is mushing them both together. So spectacular. I'm so glad that you told me to go and see it and said I want to do an episode on it, because otherwise I wouldn't have. And I got to tell you, last week I was ready to fucking give up on this trip because I don't know why I'm going. I don't know what. Well, I didn't know why I was going. I'm, fearful about being away from the boys, my three cats. I know that might sound stupid to some people, but I don't fucking care. Like, they're not my pets. They're my kids. And it's not just a fear of something happening to them while I'm away. It's also just the fear of being away from them. I haven't been away from them more than a few days their entire lives. It's a deeply, deeply important relationship to me with those three. And it's been a really difficult year. A lot of stuff has happened within my family and with work, and I'm just kind of exhausted. And I was like, do I really want to be alone again in a country that I don't know, where it's cold? And you know what I mean? Like, I was so ready to do the easy thing. And this movie is about conquering fear and understanding that courage cannot exist without fear. And it's about being the most that you can be, and hearing that, well, not just hearing the call to adventure, but listening to the call for adventure. And then that fucking song comes on in the middle of it. It's just a pop song called Kiss the Sky, and the lyrics in it are fucking so ridiculously what I needed to hear. Like, I can't even tell you. So the song comes on and I'm just like, I'm already crying because, the story of the film is a what is supposed to be a helper robot for humans, a shipment of these things, crash lands on an island that's also a wilderness. And the task of this robot is to do things for its owner. Like, give me a job to do and I will complete it. And the job that she ends up doing, after being, half attacked by a bear, she falls down a hill and accidentally crushes a goose nest, killing the mother, and most of the eggs crack as well. There's one egg left, and she is tasked with raising the goose chick, who they call Bright Bill. And in order to do that, in order to help Bright Bill, who is a runt and is underdeveloped, learn how to swim and fly so that it can go south for the winter with its other goose pals, she has to keep rewriting her own code in order to complete the task, and by doing so becomes more human, becomes more becomes more feeling. She starts to have emotions and starts to feel things from her heart instead of her head. It's beautiful. And this song, which is the montage of Bright Bill learning how to fly and growing up as well, starts as a chicken and grows up into a young duck. Right. So the one that really got me was what if for once you find the piece of you that you've been hiding? Chase your heart right to the edge, rewrite your stars, and be brave instead. And the unfamiliar road could be the same place you get lost and find yourself. There might be bumps, there might be bruises, but at least you'll have some stories to tell. Time will slip on by if you stuck here living life with too much caution. That is what that is. And I sent it to Emily because she's in Sydney at the moment on tour. And I was like, this fucking song came on in a movie that I wasn't going to go and see on the day that I needed to hear it the most. And she was like, that's a sign, like that's the universe calling you to adventure. And I have felt so at peace about this trip since that. And also, you have to understand, everybody, I haven't been overseas in 20 years. Last time I went overseas, I was 22 years of age. I'll be 42 next year. I spent 15 years as an alcoholic, and you can't travel when you do that. I had opportunities to go to places, Africa for once, with work and stuff, and you can't do that when you have an addiction because you don't know where that drug's coming from when you get to where you're going. And the fear keeps you where you are. It's like, no, stay here, be safe. I've been sober for 5 years this year, and that coinciding with the 20 years since I've gone away and all of these. Oh, thank you. That's not what I was telling you for. What just, makes sense for the story. All those pieces coming together and all that stuff, and then seeing this movie, it all blossomed. Yeah, I'm going to miss my boys, but I take that love with me, you know, and I'll be a better version of me when I get back to continue parenting them. Yeah, anyway, sorry if that was too personal for everybody, but this is my show and I like to talk to my friend about how I feel. And I think you need to talk to people about how you feel as well. Not you, Addy, you, the audience. It's good. You need to talk about this stuff. Yeah, so it was really beautiful and came along at just the perfect time. So thank you for once again, you have enriched my life, sir.
I'm glad that you went and watched it because I came out of that theater the first time just fucking like I was a wreck. Like I spent almost the entirety of the credits just wiping my tears. And like that movie will do that to you. Like I cannot remember the last time that I cried so much in a film, and it felt good.
Yeah, me either. It was very cathartic. I think it might have been because I was on a down day as well. Like it wasn't an up day; it was a down day. But it's so beautiful and it's so simple. Like it just gets to the heart of you. This goose needs to learn how to fly, and you're off. You're off to the races, and that's your story. It's really, and the characters as well. You know, Pedro Pascal plays the fox. What's the fox name?
Fink.
You know, so beautifully, and you've got Michael Berry there playing the beaver. Mark Hamill is the big bear. The cast is stacked, and Lupita Nyong'o playing Roz as well. Just the perfect pitch, and she as she slowly gets more emotional, the voice changes.
Yeah, it becomes more flowing sentence in a language than being programmed words.
I don't know how to talk about it without saying that I think it's an important movie, and I think people are going to miss that because the fucking DreamWorks is like, I don't know if it wasn't doing well at the cinema or whatever. It should have been, but it came out at the right time. They shuffled it to VOD too quickly, and I feel like people are going to just go, oh, it's just another animated movie. It's not. It's not just another animated movie. And it's a really good one. Like, the animation's incredible, right?
It is. Yeah, it is my favorite. It's my favorite film of this year.
Yeah, it's absolutely up there for me too. I think when we do our roundup, when I get back in January, this will be, top 3 at least. I'll have to go back and have a look. But the animation style is it's almost like water paint.
Yep,
watercolor painting.
It's more storybook.
Yes. That's exactly what it is, yeah.
And oh man, I can't, sometimes things just stick with you, and I can't for the life of me, like when Brightburn cracks open on the egg and Roz is holding the hatchling and just the lights coming up and her starting to feel more protective. It's just it got me so bad.
It's also it's a mother and child story, but it can be just a parent story or even just a friend story, someone that you feel compassion for and empathy for and want to help be better, So I think it's a really important movie for people to see. It's important for you to watch it with your kids because it teaches kids that Bright Bill is a runt and all the other geese make fun of him. It's a classic trope, All the other geese make fun of him because he's so small, he's not going to learn how to fly, and they take him to task. And one of the other geese named Bill Nye says, you need to train him twice as hard as everybody else. He needs to be in the sky all day, and then we'll talk. And they get a fucking, it's a hawk, right?
Yeah, they get a hawk.
They get a hawk to help him train how to fly. And it's just, it doesn't matter who you are or where you are or what you are. You have opportunity. You can strive and you can excel and you can do all that stuff. And it doesn't fucking matter what anybody else says. Nobody has any control over those decisions you make for your own betterment. You think your parents doing stuff, but eventually they stop having that kind of power, And you need to understand that if you're a young person and you haven't figured all this shit out yet, that's totally fine. You will, and that's part of it. That's part of getting to where you want to get to.
It's a very emotional coming of age story, but through the lens of both the child and the parent. I think that's a very unique idea. And I don't think there's anything about this movie that like just doesn't work. I think it's like it like sits on a perfect 1 hour 40 as well. And it's just it's a perfect holiday film. It's a perfect family film. It's I I'm going to be jumping around a little bit, but like the scene where like when Bright Bill comes back from like the migration, and he finds out that the Roz hasn't gone back yet, and as he comes back, she puts in the call, and then they come to take her, and like the urgency and the panic that he goes through because he wants to say I love you to Roz, but he hasn't said it yet. And now the chances was flying away. It broke me, and I was in tears from that moment on to credits.
It's so, like I said before, the emotions are so simple, and yet nobody acknowledges that sort of stuff. Like, you need to tell the people that you love them. Don't wait, because sometimes you migrate back and they're not there. And she's a really good metaphor for a lot of different stuff. First-time motherhood, learning with the person that you are helping raise, whatever that, relationship is, whether it's mother and daughter or son, whatever, de facto or not even parents, step-parents, pets, all that stuff. She's also a really good metaphor for the fact that we, as human beings, we don't have all the answers. We certainly don't have any answers that contribute to the betterment of the natural world unless we leave it the fuck alone. These machines crash land on this planet, or the planet rather, well, I guess somewhere in Earth, and crash land on this island, and they can't adapt to the wild. Like, industry isn't going to work. Like, it's not going to end up being the thing that saves us. It's not going to end up being the thing that makes us better. It's, having things that make your life easier, whether it's tech or a phone or AI or any of this stuff, any of this man-made artificial pieces of ease to soothe the journey, so to speak, to save you time or whatever the fuck it is, it's not going to work. Like, eventually they're all going to break down. They're not going to survive in the environments that we require them to survive in, and they're not the answer either. Like, we are, and the relationships that you foster and the feeling and the care that you have for other people and other beings. That's why we're here. That's what it's all about. It's not be the best, have the most, get to the top, win. That's a completely hollow existence. Well, I feel that way anyway. Maybe if you feel like having heaps of money and heaps of stuff and toys and everything is some sort of goal for you, then I don't understand it, but fair enough. I feel like this movie articulates that what we have to offer the planet has nothing to do with our own advancement.
Yeah. Love that from the moment that Roz is in. Also, perfectly put. Like.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I love that from the moment that Roz realizes that she can't understand the animals and they're trying to communicate, she rewrites her own code. And for that she becomes part of the forest. Like when she emerges, like she has like leaves and vines growing over her. I mean, she was in that state for a long time. And it's like in any other movie, right? Or like fucking, even if this was Pixar, the relationship between Ross and Fink would have been so much different. It would have either been like a story of I was always evil, or I've always been in love with you. But we don't, none of that was needed here. The decision of her not going back and is rooted in waiting for Bright Bill to return, and then she finds a new purpose, and she finds a way to help all the animals on the forest when winter comes, and she builds a sanctuary for them.
Yeah, they build the hut or the yurt or whatever it is and everybody, it's been a particularly cold winter, and the Fox characters, like, people are out there, it's going to kill us, it's going to kill everybody, and she goes out, and there's also that, it's the subtle touches here, like, yeah, they're going out into this snowstorm to save as many people as they can, or as many beings as they can, and as many species. And there's times where she goes out, they dig in the snow, and she just looks at the fox and shakes her head, like they didn't get there in time. Just little details like that. And yeah, they all kind of hibernate together after, the apex predators and their prey kind of come together, which obviously wouldn't happen. It's a fucking cartoon, but still. And then after they come out of that hibernation, she's even further down the line in terms of becoming, a child of the forest. She's got moss growing on her. She's got the great, breaking her leg to be able to save Brightbill from what looked like a barracuda or something. And then the beaver makes her a new leg. And yeah, it's like she has to modify herself. Just, yeah, so beautiful. And that's where she becomes, truly the wild robot.
The way it's even like written, and like it's hard to talk about this movie because it has, like, it gives you so much emotions to feel. And like, for me at least, it was most of them I hadn't felt in a long time.
Yeah, I can't say that I've been moved like this in a long while, and for a bunch of different reasons. Like, it's just a good story, and it also, makes me think about my parents and about my relationship with the people I care about and what I would do for them. It's really, it does what the best animated movies do. Best animated movies take kooky concepts or science fiction concepts or comedy concepts or talking animals or whatever it is, and they synthesize, they make it about us. And that's where you find the best art as well, is when we start talking about who we are through this beautiful, these beautiful metaphors and this beautiful medium of animated film. And as I said before, the animation is fucking fantastic. It is absolutely flawless. Just so beautifully realized. The backdrops are, this beautiful watercolor kind of painting style. It does look like a storybook. Roz as a character is so emotive, even though she's a robot. She doesn't have a mouth. All she has is eyes, and what they get out of these eyes is just remarkable. During
the forest fire at the end, she pulls out her heart and puts Brightbill in it, and that broke me so much.
When we'll try and keep it spoiler free. I won't sort of explain too much. There's one thing we'll explain about the ending, but I'll give you a spoiler warning. But yeah, at one point, Roz's creators come back to get her and don't understand why she's made all these changes to herself and rewritten her code and everything. And they're like, you're supposed to return home. She says, I am home. I'm a wild robot. And the animals defend their island. And she chooses to go back so that they don't come back. And Brightbill goes and saves her from these techno wonders. And as they're falling, what got me? Again, with the tears, they're falling, and she says, don't be afraid. They're falling out of an exploding spaceship towards a forest fire, and she says, don't be afraid, because the confidence that she has that she will protect him above all else. And she rips out the insides and, don't you need that? I've got everything I need right here, and puts him inside. Like, that's where you keep people, that's where it lives. Like, everybody talks about it really, in poetry and in greeting cards and all that stuff about love and the heart and all that shit. The heart is an organ that pumps blood throughout your body. What's inside here, that's your soul. That's where we come from. That's the whole thing. That's what was here before and what will be here when you're gone, when this body is turned to ash. That is the spirit. And that's the thing that we need to focus on. And that's where you keep it. You keep it inside you, in your chest. And that's where you keep the people that you care about. You can't get better than that. You can't get better storytelling than that. I don't give a shit. It's just amazing. It really is. It's Sully opening the door at the end of Monsters, Inc. and you hear Boo's voice, cut to black. Like, that is one of the most amazing emotional beats to end a film on ever. It's right in the smile, and then they cut to black, and you know what's happening. You know what's going to happen. He's going to be reunited with the thing that he loves most. Like that's it. It's inside where that gets you. It's not your brain. Your brain is, again, it's an organ. Like who you are is not this body. You know, it's those feelings that you can't explain. I feel like we're really, really serious this episode, considering we started talking about Christmas dildos and all sorts of filth. So I hope you're enjoying both sides of us, everybody. Yeah,
it's that kind of movie. It gives you a lot of fun moments, but then it gets serious. Yeah, I love that. I love that her ripping her heart out and putting Bright Bill in it was a callback to Bright Bill just like when Bright Bill was a chick, he'd just like run around Ross's body and she couldn't find him.
Yeah, she just keeps popping up like and trying to rest, and the wonderful how she sort of lets him sleep on her neck.
Yeah.
And you put it, and I know what that feels like, because when the boys were little, they used to do that too. They get right up to your neck and they sleep like on your neck where your pulse is, because that's how they would feel if they were with a parent. You know, it's a beautiful feeling, and that's where she keeps touching when he's gone. Yeah. Oh fuck! I'm getting welled up just thinking about it. Like it's so beautiful. That's another thing as well. It's a super emotional film, and it does bring all this stuff up in you, but the action is fucking next level.
Yes.
It's some of the best, animated. There's no fights and stuff. Well, it kind of is at the end when they sort of battle the other robots and stuff, but just the chase scene where she arrives in the forest and all of these things, like she gets kicked in the head by a deer and chased by a fucking bear and all this stuff. Like that's the animation on that stuff is next level.
Yeah, and it's a fish out of water story, but also like the fish just wants to help, and can I
assist you?
Yes, how can I assist you? And like the animals don't understand that, but then they see her raise a child, and then everybody respects her at least.
Well, they think she's a monster at first because they don't understand it. But she starts talking their language, and I didn't realize that as well, because at the end, all the other robots turn up and the animals don't know what they're saying.
Yeah,
it's like what is it? What are they saying? Because she's learned their language. Yeah,
it's true and true even more now with like just how disconnected people are, and like you don't see somebody taking an effort to learn language to talk to you.
No, well, they have an app for that or whatever. That's the thing. It's exactly that. It's exactly that. We have something to do all that for us, as opposed to, and we got a lot of cheek talking about it because we met on social media and now run a thing. But it's like that was it wasn't friendship by proxy. Like we built the friendship. You could have been fucking any random, and it just happened to be the equipment that this friendship blossomed. But the friendship has nothing to do with the screens and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Same with Tommy. We were talking last night, and he was like, "This is really fun." I'm like, "Yeah, I just like talking to my friend." All this stuff is just helpful. If it didn't happen, I'd just find a way to get to you, which sounds more threatening than I meant it to. I'd find a fucking way to get. Oh, it's Disney Plus. Hello. You guys aren't talking about us today, eh? No, we're not Disney Plus. We're actually talking about another animation. Oh, yeah, but we're the best. No, you've got a good history, but just maybe calm down. You know what's really funny, though? Sorry, Disney Plus. You know what's really funny, though? DreamWorks has their new logo where it's got all the characters that they've kind of invented over the last 25 years or whatever. You forget. It's like How to Train a Dragon, Shrek, Puss in Boots, bunch of other ones.
They had that logo in there. Like at the start of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is similar to this film story. They released it at a horrible time, and then they put it on VOD like 2 days after.
Yeah, I feel like let's call it Wild at Heart. Then that's the name of the episode. I feel like the Wild Robot would have done well at Christmas, even though it's not a Christmas movie. I mean, there's fucking snow in it, and there is a Christmas segment, is there not?
There isn't a Christmas segment.
No? Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
But it's a family movie. Of course it would do well on Christmas.
is Little Women. Little Women starts because I went and saw.
Yeah,
you know how I did the trailer for the play. Yeah, that opened for the musical, and it starts at Christmas. I'm getting confused. I think it would have done well if they'd have done it at the beginning of December or middle of December, whenever school holidays start, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a Christmas thing for it to do well at that period of time, because you just need shit to take your kids to. Shut them the fuck up.
I feel like this is the film where parents take their kids to shut the fuck up, and then like both the kid and the parent are like different people when they walk out of this film.
And probably, you know, the kid will enjoy it and all that stuff, but probably won't take lessons away from it until maybe later, unless they're a really sharp kid, I guess. I don't know. But parents definitely. The only other people in the cinema the other day were two old people for me. And they just sat there and they were crying, and it was beautiful.
That was the only one.
It's a shame. I mean, unless it did really well. Like, I know it was in the top 5 in the States for a while, even after it went to VOD. So I think maybe timing-wise it was good for them, but everywhere else, yeah, it was a really strange, like, you know, October. What are you talking? Well, it was September, I guess, but yeah, what a strange time to do it. But, you know, we don't run these companies. We don't know what's up. Yeah. It's a wonderful film. Should we talk about some, like, favourite bits?
Yeah, we should. I also want to say the actor who plays Bright Bill is Kid Connor, and so, like, please go watch.
Why do I know that name?
Because he's in Heartstopper.
Right. He's also in Agatha.
He's not. No, that's the other one.
It's a different Heartstopper.
Kid Connor was my like fan cast for younger Kal-El, but they would never do that.
Right.
But yeah,
he's the one with the abs. You've sent me the pictures of.
Yes, multiple times.
He's got some good abs. He's got abs till next week, mate.
Please go watch this movie, because like this is his first voiceover role, and you don't believe it. Like the way,
he's amazingly articulate.
Yeah, the way that he's able to play on that innocence and their heart, it is insane. Also, go watch this movie because it has a cute duckling in it. Like, that is the most cutest thing ever put on screen.
Well, it's a gosling, but yes, yeah, it's a goose. It's a Ryan Gosling. It'd be so funny if they got Ryan Gosling to voice it, though, wouldn't it?
No, it would not.
Ryan Gosling as a gosling. Anyway, get sidetracked. I wholeheartedly agree. Go and see this movie. You'll be better for it. Get it on VOD. Like, it's worth the, you know, $20 or whatever. Absolutely. It's just a really beautiful story, really simple story, told really well in a heartfelt and emotional way. And that can't be beat. Like I said, that kind of storytelling is the kind that sticks with you. It is Monsters Inc. You know, it is the beginning of the end of Toy Story 3. These are the things that you remember. And the one, you know, we'll talk about it in the favourite parts, though, and I don't want to ruin everything for anybody, so spoilers are coming in 3, 2, 1. Just skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. As Roz goes back and is you know, to protect the people that she loves, she goes back and is reassimilated into her, you know, the worker robots thing. And when flying south for, you know, the next year, Bright Bill comes back and finds her in the field, and she said to him, no matter what they do to me, they can't take away what grew inside me that you put there. And she says to one of the humans in the big orange field, you know, kind of thing where the spaceships are, she says, I am, you know, whatever her designation is, I can't remember. And then out steps Bright Bill sort of with trepidation, I'm getting welled up, and then walks over and she picks him up and says, but you can call me Roz. And they just touch foreheads. Like, I touch foreheads with my cats all the time. It's how we greet each other in the morning. And it is the most pleasant connection that you can have with another creature. It'll break you. Like, if you can feel that moment, imagine how generous and overflowing the love that you have for someone could possibly be in that moment. You know, you have all the opportunity. Hug the people that you love. Tell them that you love them. Don't waste time. If you love someone and you don't know if they love you back, tell them. Like, just, there is nothing more important than the way that we treat each other and the love that we feel for each other. It beats hate every time. It beats fear every time. we are that, and that is why we're here. There is no other reason to be here than each other and that beautiful thing that we can foster in each other, whether it's between a parent and a child, or lovers, or friends, or pets, if you call them pets, or anything. Foster that connection every place you can, and your life will be rich. And when you leave this world and go to that next place, you'll leave behind a legacy of kindness and of gratitude and of love. And I don't think there can be anything better than that. Go and check out The Wild Robot. Do you want to do top 3 favorite moments? Because I've got a few.
Yeah, let's do it. We don't have any questions because I didn't have time to put up the story. I'm sorry.
Oh, for goodness sake. Chaz didn't do one anyway? Come on, Chaz, mate. Don't you just throw questions at us all the time? No, send me questions.
Chaz accused us for having arguments, which I don't think we ever do.
Yeah, I think we got a little heated, but it was kind of a joke. But whatever. I mean, he's still listening, so that's totally cool. Chaz, our number 1 fan, everybody. Go and check him out. He's quite a cool dude. I appreciate him a lot. He does ask me a lot of questions sometimes, but it's mostly, what am I wearing? And that's fine too. This time, Chaz, assless chaps. Anyway, top 3 favourite moments, bottom to top. You go.
For me, it's the hatching of the egg, and she Roz is trying all her power just to keep the cracking of the egg together.
Mm-hmm.
And then she removes her hands, and it's just this fuzzy little gosling, and you just want to just hold him and hug him. It's the most cutest thing ever.
It is really well animated, and I think it's manipulative and fuck you. No, it's great. And it is, you always made the joke about Grogu last week. You're absolutely right. It beats Grogu hands down. My favourite bit's my third favourite bit is a comedy bit. It's where she's being chased by all the raccoons and they all climb up the tree after her, and you see this beautiful shot of her at the top of the tree and the raccoons kind of pluming in this huge round, as you see it in silhouette, and the huge moon in front of them. And she kind of bends the tree down and to get Brightbill, and as she steps off the end of the tree, you hear, "Oh no, don't do it," and yet slingshots all of these raccoons through the air. And they all land in the water, and then just before the shot cuts, you hear someone go, "Again!" Fucking excellent. I loved it.
I would say the hawk teaching Brightbird how to fly, because it was just badass. Not only did they not have to make the hawk look that badass, he did have to have a heart and actually help Brightbird, but he did, and that was it was so fucking awesome.
Well, I mean, that would be a predator in real circumstances. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastically voiced by Ving Rhames as well. The voice cast is excellent. Catherine O'Hare plays the opossum, and she's got all the little kids, and the little kids, there's one there, and she thinks it dies. I've got 7 kids. Six. And then he comes out, "It's okay, I'm all right, Mum." Oh, thank goodness. It's so fucking dry.
Yeah,
I love it.
Catherine O'Hara, just the way that she voiced her, was the only cast member that I picked up. Except, I knew Kid Connor was in it. But that, and it probably has to be, me finishing Schitt's Creek, days before I watched that movie.
Yeah, you've got it in there already. And she's kind of hamming it up on that show, too. So, can't say enough about Pedro Pascal, who I think is a fantastic actor and is having a really good career. I think he's making some really smart choices. I'm excited to see him as Mr. Fantastic. I love him turning up in the yurt and being the one who says, I have to go help. He's also great when the other geese are giving Brightbill shit, and he's like, "I'll fucking have all of you idiots. I'm gonna munch." He turns back to us, real protective. And before Roz is about to leave, and he says, "You can stay and we can hang out and stuff." He finally found someone, and foxes are maligned a lot because they're not indigenous really to anywhere, as far as I know, maybe England, but everywhere they are, they're kind of a pest, and they're really beautiful creatures. They're really lovely creatures. I know that they do a lot of damage to the natural environment, but we cause that. We brought them here. It's not the other way around. They're just being, they're doing what they do. They're being a part of nature. But they're really beautiful. They can be really tender as well. And they do, they don't clan very well. So yeah, it was cute to see that. I obviously know that he's not a real fox in the movie.
See, I have a problem with this.
Probably quite vicious, but yeah. What's that?
I have a problem with this when people say, oh, well, yeah, it's a good movie, but like, it's not real. See, the thing is, you watch this movie and you feel the emotions of those characters. You connect with those characters, therefore they impact you. Hence, they are real to you. That's all that matters.
Mm. Yeah, it's the same way that you feel about Superman. Superman's not real, but he gives you hope, and that's a real thing.
Oh, fuck me. I forgot to talk about Superman and Lois in the segment, man. That fucking show breaks me every time.
That's all right. We can do that next episode. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's like Alan Watts says, the ideas are as real as rocks. The thought of a tree is as real as a tree. You know, these things have weight, whether they exist in the actual physical harsh reality or if they are, you know, conjurings of some sort. And yeah, this fox isn't accurate to what a fox is actually like. They can't fucking talk, for starters, and I don't think any fox has ever met a robot, but the emotions can be just as poignant and potent as anywhere else. But yeah, anyway, I just want to talk about Pedro for a second. My second favorite bit is definitely where she puts they're falling out of the sky, and she says, "Don't be afraid," because you fucking sometimes you need to hear that. It's really hard to not be afraid, because there's a lot out there to be afraid of sometimes. And when you have someone who can not even 100% protect you, like in that situation where it's a really precarious situation, and she believes she can protect you, but there's no guarantees on anything. But to tell someone to turn to you and say, it's okay, or it's okay to be afraid, you know, I'll protect you. That's really, really powerful.
Mine is kind of related to that. It's when he goes and saves her, and he's talking to her while she's shut down, and she responds to him, and like she wakes up, and it's just like, you as the audience know that like she's not there while he's talking to her, and he's just like, he kind of snuggles in her neck and just like says what he has to, and then she responds back, and it's just fucking like, yeah, like
that wakes her. The programming is overridden completely, and she wakes up and says, "I love you too." Like is beautiful.
Yeah, I do. I want to talk about the music a little bit, because fuck me, that theme is insane, and like, not only is it present in every moment, it's there in the song too. Like the two songs they have in the film, it's present there, and it's just it's like, it's a theme that like fucking hits you every single time. Yeah,
it's really strong. It's really bombastic and driving, but it's also quite sentimental in places. Yeah, I've had it on repeat just the last few days. It's good gym music, honestly. Yeah, absolutely excellent. Look up the composer. I don't have it on hand. My favorite bit overall is the ending that I mentioned, where they put their heads together and she says, "You can call me Roz." What a perfect ending. What a perfect film. It's just, yeah, I loved it so much. This is going to be a 4K purchase. Faux show! It's wonderful, everyone. Go and check out The Wild Robot, please. And before we go, I know we don't have any questions, but if you were a robot, what kind of robot would you be? What function would you serve?
No, I'm not going there. We've had a good chat. I'm not going there.
You're going to be a dildo one, and after all of the beautiful conversation we just had, and all the variations of us, all the different sides of who we are as people, we've displayed for all the good listeners. You're going to talk about dildus again? Dildus is the plural of dildos that I made up.
It's like dickless, but more.
No, dildus, as in more than one dildo.
Yeah,
not dildos, but that's not funny. How do we get back to dildos? Fuck. Silly.
I think that should be our t-shirt, like, for real. It should be.
How do we get back to dildos?
How do we get back to dildos?
That always comes up. So what kind of function would you serve if you were a robot?
A cook, maybe.
A cook? That's awesome. Like, you'd have a whole bunch of different arms, and they'd all be doing like things like, want to be whisking, want to be stirring, want to be chopping, want to be wearing the hat, you know, all that awesome shit. That's very cool. What would your designation be?
Oh.
Chefbot69. Because you also fuck. You make really good flambe and fuck. I'm my own problem. I am my own problem. Okay.
What
that's an excellent
would you
one.
be?
I would be something that would be that like helpful in terms of agriculture. But then, no, because that's like the natural way to do things is usually better.
Be the Terminator.
Yeah, maybe I'd like to be the Terminator or RoboCop. Or RoboCops. Have you ever bought a frozen garlic bread?
Yeah.
Or you get one from the pizza shop and it's in the tin foil.
Yep.
It's quite long. Yeah, every time we have those, I put it on the table and I go, RoboCop's dick, like every single time. For 12 years I've been with Emily. Every time we have garlic bread, it's RoboCop's dick. Anyway, maybe I'd be one that, like Roz. I'd be like Roz, but specifically for animals as well. Like, I would help animals in some way. I don't know, whether it be a bot that plays with cats, a bot that helps. What would be really nice? A bot that could, because I don't know how people do this, honestly. But then again, you lose the human connection. Okay. Would be able to put down animals humanely, animals that need to be put down because they're sick or whatever. Because fuck me, that must be the hardest job in the world. I mean, for me anyway, I can't imagine a job harder than that, than having to end the life of animals. So maybe a bot that does that, but maybe the bot that does the function of that, and then there's a human being there for the connection with the animal as it passes away. Yeah, that might be nice. That's a bit of a serious one. But yeah, otherwise maybe a bot that, do something with food to help people. Like not a chef, but help.
Just like provide food?
If it was like the third world countries or something like that, there's something you could plant really quickly, or you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But I feel like the idea of that is to get the people to, become proficient in agriculture and all that, and then they can serve themselves as opposed to focusing on, equipment and robots like I was talking about before. But anyway, I'd be a tall robot because that would be awesome. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Please go out and see The Wild Robot. Addy, I appreciate you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for bringing this.
I adore you. I fucking love you.
You beat me to all my points. Now, thank you for introducing this film to me. It really is. It came along at the perfect time, and that's not an accident. I don't believe in coincidences. I love you. I cherish you. And this friendship is super important to me. And you're my little gosling.
Oh. Don't make me cry.
And I am a big white robot that is voiced by an African-American woman.
Yes.
Blessings to all. And remember,
stay amazing. Stay safe. Look at the sky sometimes.
You just might kiss it. Goodbye, everybody.